Cyberpunk 2077 is a role-playing game, and part of being a role-playing game is allowing the players to make the choices they want to make. And one of the biggest ways that you can do that is with character customization. We have gone through it many times here on this channel before, breaking down each and every component in which you can customize your character. But today we are going to be going through the evolution from the moment that we first ever saw character customization with the 2018 gameplay trailer from Projekt Red to the moment that we are going into it with the release of the game. Every single game that you play, every single game that you see goes through an iterative cycle. This means that they would design something, put it all in motion, play test it, and then change it based on that feedback. So this is how character customization has changed over the last couple of years for Cyberpunk 2077. Before I do get into the video, if you do want to see any more content from me, maybe even see me streaming this game live when it is released in December, then there is a link in the description down below which will take you over to the Twitch stream. Head over to there, drop a follow, and you'll be notified the second that these streams start up on the 10th of December. And I am hoping to do daily streams over on Twitch as well as do daily videos here on YouTube. Getting back into the video, Projekt Red were always planning to do customization for Cyberpunk. It is a very easy way to build immersion straight away from the beginning. By putting time into something, by creating a character that you want, you instantly get empathy for that character. And now that you care for your character, that will reflect the choices you make for your character, and also it will keep you playing the game. You knowing what you did and what your character looks like will always be in the back of your mind, even for a role-playing game such as Cyberpunk, where you're not even able to see your character that often. So character customization is important to the game. And Projekt Red have changed up the menu system as well as some of the features that you can do within customization just so it can suit your needs. And this is how everything has changed. So in 2018, we did get the 48-minute gameplay video which shows us the customization for the first time. This was somewhat feature complete. You can see that the character customization is available. You can select the type of character you want and change the different body parts to suit your liking. These body parts are then based off different presets that you can switch between. The game does also have a section right at the beginning before you go into character customization, and this is where you get to change different things such as your character's name. Your character's nickname will always be V, and every other character within the game will refer to your character as V, but you can still put whatever name you want. And this is also the part in which you can decide the backstory for your character. The backstory would contain a few multiple choice questions such as your childhood hero, key life events, and why Night City. The answers that you put here would have had a lasting effect on V throughout the whole game. And the reason that I say would have is because this is no longer within the game. It has since evolved, and the reason for this is because it's just a basic way of deciding your path. Not to mention that new players playing who have never looked up Cyberpunk lore before would actually have no clue of who they're actually selecting. For example, childhood hero would give you the option of Johnny Silverhand, Morgan Blackhand, and Saburo Arasaka. For those of us that have been looking at the lore for this game, we know exactly who those characters are. But someone being a first timer wanting to get into the game wouldn't actually understand who's who, and if this was going to have a lasting effect, their choices now have consequences without them actually knowing what they're doing. This would have just been very painful to the player. It's also worth noting, back in 2018 when this was released, Projekt Red showed a masculine and a feminine body type, and viewers assumed that this would just be the stage in which you would select your character's gender, and it was only limited to 2 genders. Now, we're not too sure whether or not Projekt Red intended it to be this way, but this is something that did later change. And our last talking point for this 2018 gameplay video is the UI. The menu system really is not aesthetically pleasing. It is just very dark, and you'll be able to see how it changes over time. In 2019, we got the Cyberpunk 2077 deep dive video, which shows 2 different approaches when playing through Cyberpunk. You can go as a strong solo, which goes in guns blazing, or you can be a netrunner, which is slower paced and more about hacking. These don't really matter too much about customization, as these are choices that you can make when actually getting into the gameplay. But at 7 minutes and 44 seconds, we do see Projekt Red talking about customization. We do see how they changed up the style instantly. Instead of it being a very dark menu, it's actually got a bit more color to it this time. Personally, I don't think this suits the Cyberpunk style. This is not a background that I like, but I do like it a lot more compared to the one we had in 2018. This was also around about the time that we were getting a lot of news articles that were talking about the gender system. And in fact, CD Projekt Red confirmed that genders aren't within Cyberpunk. At the beginning of the game, you get to choose between a feminine and a masculine body type, but that does not limit your choices after of what type of voice you can have or the different types of genitalia options. CD Projekt Red made it clear that this is a role-playing game, and part of a role-playing game is making the choices and shaping your own path, and this is a very open way of doing it. You now have the freedom to choose whatever body type you want, whatever voice you want, as well as whatever genitalia you want, as well as there also being a number of other different customized options available to you. It was described that the body type is just a cosmetic, whereas your voice type and also your genitalia will be the things that have an impact. Maybe not so much as an impact in the main storyline and the main quest, but will have an impact in the romance options available in the game. Because even though you're happy with your character, other NPCs within the game have their types. And if you don't fit within their specifications of what they're looking for, then they're not going to be attracted to you. But removing genders within the game of choosing between a male or female character does give you the freedom to design the character the way that you want. And this brings us all the way to 2020. In 2020, we start to see the final form. Remember how I said earlier you can choose a backstory for V? And this is where you will answer multiple choice questions, and those answers that you put will actually affect V within the game. CD Projekt Red removed this from the game and instead brought in life paths. Life paths do pretty much the exact same thing. You make a choice here and this will have everlasting effect for your character throughout the rest of the game. Except this time it is so much more intuitive and much more engaging. Instead of you answering questions which some players may not know the answers to, instead they've gone for 3 different introductions which you can choose from, and you just pick the one that sounds the most interesting to you. You can go for Nomad, Street Kid or Corp. And do you also remember at the beginning of this video where I said character customization is important because you can instantly have empathy for the character? Because you have empathy for the character, you care for the character, and this just provides a better experience for you because now you're so much more immersed into the game, as well as from CD Projekt Red's point of view, they're now delivering the experiences they want to deliver and you're still playing the game. Well, these life paths also go into that. You've picked the life path that you want, you've opted into it, and in each of these different 3 life paths, something happens to V which will make you care more for your character. And this will then lead you straight into the game whilst also educating you everything about the controls for Cyberpunk. This also brings us up to the point in which we're currently at. The release build for Cyberpunk. Not much has actually changed at this point for feature-wise and mechanically, but what has changed is aesthetically. The style of the menu has been changed again. Back in 2018 it was very dark, in 2019 it's starting to brighten up a bit, and now for the release build we have this blue and red gradient, which I actually very much like. I said the features haven't changed too much, so you can still change the body type, voice, genitalia, skin tone, skin type, eyes, eye color, hairstyle, hair color, ears, beard styles, beard color, cyberware, scars, tattoos, surface wiring, and the list just carries on going on. After you've customized your character, you'll have attribute points. These attribute points have not really changed too much over the past couple of years. These have always been here and they've always been the exact same skill categories that you can put attribute points into. These are body, intelligence, reflexes, technical, and cool. And these can be expanded on quite a bit when you do actually get into the core gameplay. And then finally you have the life paths that you can choose between. And this is Nomad, Street Kid, and Corp. Each one of these having a lasting effect on V throughout the whole game. And this is how the character customization has evolved for the past couple of years. I would have loved to have done something where I go back through to when Cyberpunk was first put into development, but really not too much has been spoken about that. We got our teaser trailers, but that didn't show any of the gameplay. Especially back then, the gameplay, it would have just been placeholder art. If not, it would have just been boxes and spheres. But this is how customization has changed for the past couple of years. And you can see how much it has changed, with a lot of things being taken out and a lot of things just evolving. I have also tried to implement a bit of design. I did used to be a game designer, so I feel like I can talk about this subject. But anyway, this is how customization has evolved for Cyberpunk 2077. this is just the beginning of the game of when you first go in to change up your character, because if we also talked about the customization options that you have mid-game, this would probably be a 20, maybe even 30-minute video. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. I said at the beginning, if you do want to see any more content from me, there is a link in the description down below which will take you over to the Twitch channel. Make sure you follow that and you'll be notified the second that the Cyberpunk stream starts up. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see you.